This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Listening to this podcast? Smart move. Being financially savvy? Smart move. Another smart move? Having State Farm help you create a competitive price when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
If your roof starts to leak or your floor's really squeak, you live in a money pit. Money pit.
If your basement needs a pump or your place looks like a dump, you live in a money pit. Money pit. Pick up the telephone.
Fix up your home sweet home by calling 888-MONEY-PIT.
The Money Pit is presented by Dyche Coatings. Now here's Leslie Segretti.
Coast to coast and floorboards to shingles, this is the Money Pit. I am Leslie Segretti, and with me is Jim Kenzie. Jim, how's it going this hour?
Good. I'm just honing my button boy skills behind the console here.
Well, you're an excellent button boy, and so much more, sir. Do not sell yourself short.
Oh, I'm just teasing. A little self-deprecation never hurt anybody.
I know. We're both really good at it.
No, I'm worse at it than you are.
No, I'm more worser. Worserer.
Oh, my God. What a team. Okay.
I know. We're really a bunch of dodo birds, and somehow we're in charge of this wonderful show, The Money Pit.
Okay.
So let's get to the wonderful content that we're sharing with you guys to make sure that your home is in tip-top shape. So first up, and I think this is most importantly for, days away from Halloween, you're running out of time, but you still want to haunt your house in style? Coming up, we've got some easy last-minute Halloween decor ideas that you can whip up in a single afternoon using stuff you probably already have at home. From creepy candles to ghostly garlands, we're going to show you how to get festive fast. No trip to the craft store required. And we are sharing the spookiest, most budget-friendly ways to turn your yard into a haunted masterpiece with glowing eyes in the bushes, floating ghosts in the trees, and creepy cauldrons that bubble and glow. These DIY Halloween lighting effects are quick, clever, and guaranteed to delight those trick-or-treaters or totally freak them out in the best way possible. So stay tuned for how to bring your spooky yard to, a reality here. And now that we've decorated and sadly, eventually Halloween will be over. Well, not really, but let's pretend,
Just because the neighbors take their stuff down, Leslie, doesn't mean you have to.
I know. So don't worry, guys. Coming up, we're going to share some smart tips for packing away those spooky decorations so they last longer, storing those outdoor inflatables without the tangles, and even what to do with those rotting pumpkins. Hint, don't just toss them. We've got your Halloween cleanup made simple. Yes, I'm doing a whole hour dedicated to Halloween because I love it. And I hope that you guys too. So give us a call right now at 888-MONEY-PIT. So we can help you out. Jim, who's up first?
Well, Leslie, we love family projects, and we've got John from Texas who has exactly that thing going on with his daughter building a house. What's the project, John?
I'm building a little 16 by 36 two-bedroom small place.
Okay.
I'm at the roof.
All right. Well, you're at the roof. You're getting there.
Different people telling me what to do. I've got the rafters up, and I've been told since I'm going with a metal roof, just lath it right now and put the metal down to the lathing and roof. But I built houses with my grandfather, and we always decked a house.
Yeah, lots of folks have done it like that for years, yeah.
And my brother's telling me, you got to deck it and then put your lathing on top of that and then your metal. I was listening to y'all over the weekend right before I was starting on this roof deal, and I thought I'd see what your thoughts on it were.
All right. So when you say deck it, just for people who are not familiar, what you're basically referring it to here is using plywood sheathing, like sheets of plywood, on top of those roofing rafters. Now, a couple of things to think about there. First of all, if you do put sheathing onto the roof, it's going to be structurally a lot stronger than if you just put the lath down, which is sort of like that 1x3 strips that goes all the way down the roof. Now, in the old days, that's how we used to build roofs, but it's kind of not been that way since the, mid to late 1800s. And then it kind of laid on it and had like cedar shingles nailed right to that lath. So there's really nothing wrong with doing it that way because it has been around so long. I do think that the plywood approach is going to be stronger and it's going to be quieter. I mean, you have to remember when it rains, it's really loud on that metal roof. So you've got to find something that will make it quieter. And if you were to put a roof sheathing in between it, then also you can insulate right up under it using the insulation on the back of the roofing shingles. And so there's a lot of reasons I think that I would probably just use solid decking on the project.
That was my thought for the strength mainly that I knew would be there. That's tying everything together.
Yeah, all right, absolutely. The only other suggestion we would have for you is to check with the manufacturer of the metal roofing and see what their recommendations are for installation. But generally speaking, I don't think there's a right approach. So go ahead and put a roof deck on and those rafters can go on from there.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome, John. Thanks so much for calling us at 888-MONEY-PIT.
All right, Leslie, we have Janet who's dealing with some insulation issues. What's going on, Janet?
I have a side entrance on my home that was sort of an add-on area that is not well insulated. Am I better to find some sort of insulation to go up under this add-on, or should I pull the linoleum flooring up and the plywood underneath and insulate and then put the flooring back on?
Well, Janet, it sounds from your question like you have the ability to get underneath that floor without tearing it up. And that would be optimal if that's the case. So let's presume that your area is over a crawl space. And if that's the correct situation, you would want to insert insulation between the floor joists and you would do it from the underside. Tearing that floor out from the top when you can get under, it just doesn't make any sense. So I would insulate that floor, but I would also make sure that I'm checking the ceiling above. If there is an attic space above that room, that area should also be insulated. And then thirdly, you could do the walls, making sure that you're sealing out any gaps that could be forming around there. But generally, the most important thing to insulate in any area is the ceiling first, followed by the floors. I mean, always think about the heat escapes from your head. So like put a hat on your head, put an insulation in the attic. That will do the same kind of thing, just because the heat rises. And floors are generally easier to insulate and the walls are kind of the hardest. So they would be the last step unless you're doing some major construction or some other work inside the house. But either way, this is wonderful. You're trying to seal out those energy leak areas, and it's definitely easier to go from under the floor and above the ceiling than taking it apart from the middle. I hope that makes some sense to you, and you get cozy real soon, Janet. Hey, it's Leslie. I'm so excited to welcome Jones Road Beauty as a new sponsor to our podcast. They make high-grade skin products that work on every skin type and tone. I have super sensitive skin and I have rosacea, so I have to be really careful about what I put on my face. And I love Jones Road Beauty Miracle Balm, especially in the happy hour. I feel like it gives me such a nice, soft glow that works all year round. Now, Miracle Balm is a light-reflecting balm that gives your skin a fresh, healthy glow. It's a highlighter, it's a blush, it's a bronzer, and it's so much more. You can tap it on your cheeks, your lips, or as an all-over tint for an effortlessly natural look. You can layer it over your foundation to just kind of warm things up, or wear it on its own for a no makeup glow. It just works on you and on everyone. It's made with skin-loving ingredients, and it melts right in to leave your skin feeling smooth, moisturized, and comfortable. Also, just enough is a lightweight tinted moisturizer that smooths and evens your skin tone with a soft touch of coverage. It hides the redness from my rosacea, it looks natural, and it feels like nothing on my face. It's packed with hydrating ingredients to keep your skin moisturized without clogging your pores. Now, you can choose from 16 flexible shades, perfect for your busy mornings, bare skin days, or anytime you want to look fresh without the fuss. Check out all their great products and place an order today at jonesroadbeauty.com. Even better, Jones Road Beauty is offering Money Pit podcast listeners a super special offer. If you use code MONEYPIT at jonesroadbeauty.com, you're going to get a free Cool Gloss lip gloss with your first purchase. So head on over to jonesroadbeauty.com and use promo code MONEYPIT to get a free Cool Gloss with your first purchase. You're going to be so happy with everything you pick out today.
All right, Leslie, we've got Gary in my home state of Michigan on the line who's dealing with some concrete issues. What's going on, Gary?
I have a concrete porch that was installed about 10 years ago, and the top is flaking pretty quickly, it seems like. And I just need to know what is the best solution to take care of this problem.
Yeah, Gary, it's hard when the concrete kind of just starts to flake apart. And generally it happens because there's a crack, water gets underneath it, that crack sort of freezes and it kind of starts to lift up and then fall apart. If you try to just put some regular concrete on top of it, nothing's going to stick. So you really need to look for a product that's made for repair, resurfacing, and that's formulated to really stick to those areas. You want to look at Quickcrete. It has a product called Recap, and that will do just that. In fact...
Is that the real light one, Leslie, with like the silicone?
Yeah, well, no, this one's kind of a gray concrete tone. You mix it up, and it's interesting because it kind of feels like a little bit of an epoxy mix when you mix it, but it's like... It's almost like it's rubbery. It has that like compoundy feel, but it's definitely worth the work. You can also use a paddle mixer when you're doing larger projects. I remember when I did the basement floor and had to mix up large bits of adhesive, I used that mixer paddle to sort of build up a 5-gallon bucket of the mastic, which really was hugely helpful. But you kind of mix it, you pour it out, you can sort of travel it out or use the bottom of a broom or a brush to push it around, and then it kind of finishes up the space as well. Because you're outside, you want to have something that's got a little bit of a grit to it, so you can use a broom finish that will help you make sure you don't slip when it does get icy outside, but it's designed to stick, and it sticks like crazy to that old concrete surface, and that's really what you want, and that's really going to give you a whole new concrete look when you are done. So definitely a project that's wonderful for you and the best way for you to proceed with these situations. Hey, Money Pit listeners, if we've saved you some time, money, or hassles with your projects, you would totally make our day by leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Just go to moneypit.com/review. Hey, Money Pit listeners, are you ready to give your kitchen or bath a seriously stunning upgrade without the cost or mess of a full renovation? Well, we have teamed up with our friends at Daesh Coatings to give one lucky listener a Marble Dream Resurfacing Kit. It's a DIY kit that can completely transform your old laminate, wood, or stone countertops into gorgeous faux marble in just a weekend. And get this, it's a prize worth around $150. It's got everything you need in that kit. It is a wonderful kit that will deliver professional results that are beautiful, durable, and best part, totally doable. To enter to win our Marble Dream Kit giveaway, give us a call at 888-MONEY-PIT with your home improvement questions. You can check the kit out at daishcoatings.com. That's DAICH coatings.com. But give us a call for your chance to win. Well, if Halloween totally snuck up on you this year, don't worry. There is still time to turn your space from ho-hum to haunted. And the best part, these last-minute ideas use things that you likely already have lying around the house. So let's start with an all-time favorite. Ghosts that are made from cheesecloth or gauze. You want to drape them over balloons or a foam ball or even an upside-down mixing bowl. And you can spray that cheesecloth or gauze with starch, or you can dilute some glue, and that's going to stiffen the shape. And once it dries, voila! You have floating ghosts to hang from trees or from the chandelier. You can make them big. You can make them small. They are so fun and they look great. If you have some black felt kicking around, you can cut out little circle eyes and whatnot for funny faces and glue them right to the cheesecloth. Now, black trash bags, those equal instant Halloween magic. You can cut them into large spiderweb shapes and tape them to the windows, the wall, the porch railing. And if you add a big DIY spider made from rolled up socks or newspaper wrapped in black duct tape, you have got a web that looks store-bought but isn't. Now, when it comes to making the spider web out of the black trash bags, you kind of fold them up like you would paper when you're making like paper dolls or gingerbread men, that type of thing. And then, or even the snowflakes from when you were kids, and you just kind of work on a quarter of it and cut out, a part of your spider web shape. And when you unfold it, Ta-da! Now, if you want to do a spooky silhouette, you can turn plain paper or cardboard into those eerie silhouettes. So like a cat or a bat or a witch or a spooky tree, you cut them out and backlight them with LED candles in the window or lanterns on your porch. Even simple black construction paper cutouts on the wall will add that creepy drama. If you want some candlelight with a twist, grab your glass jars, mason jars, or old candle holders and wrap them in torn up gauze or tissue to make mummy lights. You can add googly eyes and drop in LED tea lights or battery operated candles. They're safe, they're glowy, and they add perfect Halloween vibes to your mantle and your steps. And here's a fun one. DIY potion bottles. Raid your pantry. Empty spice jars, wine bottles, olive oil containers, they can all become witchy potions. You add food coloring to water, and then you make a handwritten label, or if you're good with the Photoshop or InDesign, you can make a really cool looking label, and you can write things like zombie breath or troll tears, and then you arrange them on a tray or a bookshelf or the mantle or whatever, and they become awesome and creepy. So even if you waited until now, the last howl, you can still transform your home into a Halloween haven. It's not about just spending money. It's about getting creative, having fun, and maybe using some of those mystery craft supplies that you kind of been hoarding for years, thinking, oh, one day I will use this random piece of moss. Well, today is that day, my friends.
Just think, Leslie, if you're only passionate about it.
Oh, my God. I love Halloween. I love it.
No way.
All right, Jimmy, who's up next? And hopefully they love Halloween, too.
All right, Leslie, Lauren left us a message and has a question about some siding issues and some overgrowth. Let's see what she has to say.
Last year, my husband and I moved into a split-level ranch that was built in 1957. And at the time that we moved in, it had been vacant for a while and it was somewhat neglected. And there was a lot of ivy and other plants that had grown up against the house. So when we moved in and had those removed, we noticed that there was a lot of damage to the siding underneath. The siding is cedar siding, and as far as we can tell, it's not been well maintained. So we aren't sure when it was sealed last or painted last, missing a lot of caulk, a lot of gaps, in addition to the damage that the plants have done to it. So we're wondering if cedar siding is always worth salvaging, or if we should maybe consider a different siding material. And then the other question is, if the cedar siding is worth saving and fixing up, who would we contact to do that? What type of contractor? Would we contact a painter? Are painters usually equipped to also do cedar siding repair?
Yeah, I know ivy always seems like a great idea when it's first planted. It's kind of charming, and it's even pretty when it's on a brick building, but it's not the best thing for the building itself. Beautiful to look at, but not the best. When you put it on a house that has wood siding, I think the ivy thinks that the siding is the dirt, and it just kind of finds a way to go under the boards and around the boards and in through everything. So it's going to end up being a lot more maintenance to keep wood siding, to keep those vines from growing on top of it. Other sidings are going to be gorgeous too. They're just going to have different levels of maintenance. So I think with the cedar siding, it's a lot more maintenance than, say, a vinyl siding. But I don't think the fact that you've had some damage to it means that you should completely go in a totally different direction. What I would suggest is you get a good painter to work on prepping that material. It's going to have to probably be wire brushed, sanded, scraped, kind of whatever it takes to get that surface ready to accept the new paint. And when you do that, at that point, you'll know how many boards have to be replaced. And the painter may be able to do that, but you'll probably need to hire maybe just a carpenter or a handyman to come and take care of that part of it. Now, in terms of staining, I would recommend that you prime it and then use a solid color stain, because that's just going to last the longest. It's the most saturated. It really does a good job to kind of stay on the house, keep the house stained, and caulk the seams. And you can even also at that point caulk around the windows and the doors, because that's something typically a painter would do. But if you decide to take everything off, I would probably recommend that you go with a hardy plank siding, because Hardy is the brand. Plank, so it can be hardy plank or hardy shingle. That's just sort of the shape of the siding. Is it a cementatious composite, Jim? It's kind of like a cement-based material. Mm-hmm. I have it on my house. It actually matches the color of the original siding. It's very beautiful. It's super durable. Everything is factory painted on all sides. And I think we put up our siding right after Hurricane Sandy, which would be 13 years ago because that's how old Charlie is. So that's how I always know.
That's how you gauge it, yeah.
I mean, I haven't had to do anything except pressure wash a couple of areas, get rid of some spider webs. Maybe there's a little mildew in one spot.
Oh, that should be covered under warranty. Spider webs? Come on.
Bah, it's so great and it's so durable. It is a little bit on the expensive side, but I just don't think you have to tear it all out because a little ivy got too close. I think you can restore it. You know what's always interesting when the ivy comes off the siding, but yet you still see all those little, it's almost like tentacles from like an octopus. You can kind of see the remnants of it on the house. Mm-hmm. So it's up to you. There's some stuff you can do to sort of just refinish. You can change it if you want. I'm not sure what your budget is. Perhaps you're that secret Powerball winner in, I don't know, California, and you want to just do big projects. Then if that's you,
great.
Hurrah! But you've got a lot of good options here with your siding. I don't think you're out of luck just because you had some ivy.
Laura, thanks for reaching out to us at the Money Pit.
When it comes to what your family eats and drinks, you know your choices matter. You're the expert because you know what fits your life. And getting it right starts with good information. That's why America's beverage companies are sharing more information about our ingredients at goodtoknowfacts.org. No spin, no judgments, just the facts straight from the experts for more than 140 beverage ingredients. Visit goodtoknowfacts.org.
This episode is brought to you by Rum Chata, a delicious creamy blend of horchata with rum. It's best enjoyed over ice or in your coffee. Rum Chata, delivering vacation vibes any way or anywhere you drink it. Find out more at rumchata.com. Drink responsibly. Caribbean rum with real dairy cream, natural and artificial flavors. Alcohol 13.75% by volume, 27.5 proof. Copyright 2025, Agave Loco Brands, Pewaukee, Wisconsin. All rights reserved.
Hey, Money Pit listeners, we have a great prize up for grabs for you this hour. We have teamed up with our friends at Daish Coatings to give one lucky listener a marble dream resurfacing kit. That's a DIY kit that can completely transform any old laminate wood or stone countertop into gorgeous faux marble in just a weekend, and it's a prize worth around $150. You can have a beautiful look that feels modern and high-end without the demo, the dust, or that high bill from a contractor. And hey, if you've already used one of Daish's kits to create your own dream surface, don't forget to enter it into their 2025 Show Us Your Countertops contest. They're looking for amazing DIY transformations, and your project could win big. But don't wait. That entry deadline is October 31st. To enter their contest, you want to head on over to daishcoatings.com. That's DAICH coatings.com. But for your chance to win here at the Money Pit, give us a call with your home improvement question at 888-MONEY-PIT. Well, if you've ever wanted to create a front yard so spooky that it stops trick-or-treaters in their tracks, but you don't want to break the bank doing it, we've got 5 fun, simple, and seriously effective lighting tricks that will make your home the eeriest on the block. So let's start with something ghostly and glowing. Ghost lanterns in the tree. All you need are some white balloons, cheesecloth, fishing line, and a few glow sticks or LED tea lights. So this is the same as before. You're going to blow up that balloon. You're going to drape it with the cheesecloth. It doesn't work, though, if it's rainy outside, because the whole goal here is to sort of put that glue on the cheesecloth, have it shaped to the balloon, pop it once it's dried, But if it gets damp, it's going to go womp, womp. So if it's a nice dry Halloween, this is awesome. So what you want to do is once you have the balloon with the ghost ready to go, you want it to look like a floating head. You can drop a glow stick inside that balloon. You can drape them with fishing line from tree branches or the porch eaves, and they'll kind of sway in the wind like glowing spirits. It's classic. It's still super creepy. You can use the glue to make them stiff in form. You can use the balloon to just kind of be a sort of a head shape. Either way, awesome use for cheesecloth, because How often are you like wrapping up veggies for soup? Not very. So you've got cheesecloth in the drawer. Break it out. Now, it's super important also to think about what the house looks like at night. So maybe get some color changing porch lights. You can swap out your regular porch bulbs for smart bulb or simple colored party bulbs like red or purple or orange. You can set them to flicker. If you want to get fancy, you can use a smart app to program spooky pulses or lighting effects. And if you really want to amp it up, you can set a spotlight in your yard to shine up onto your siding or your windows. It casts an ominous shadow and it gives your house the haunted mansion glow. It works great with like a strobing effect, or purple or red, I find works the best. Now, here's a subtle but great effect. Glowing eyes in the bushes. You can grab some empty toilet paper rolls and cut out pairs of spooky eyes. You can line the inside with red or green cellophane, and then you drop in a battery tea light or a glow stick, and then you tuck them into bushes, flower beds, under the steps, and once the sun goes down, it looks like all kinds of creatures are lurking around your home watching. It's the best. Now, let's light the path to your haunted house. Lanterns or witch lights, we'll call them. You can use mason jars, painted tin cans, or recycled food containers and fill them with fairy lights or glow sticks. Wrap them in gauze. You can paint on jack-o'-lantern faces. You can label them witch's brew or enter if you dare. And you can line that walkway for a soft, eerie glow that will guide those trick-or-treaters in if they are brave enough. And finally, our favorite showstopper. It's a DIY cauldron. It smokes and glows. You're going to need a plastic cauldron, a fog machine, or some dry ice. Always use gloves when you're handling the dry ice, and some purple or green LED lights. You can place your fog source inside the cauldron and light it from below, and suddenly it looks like a witch is cooking up something real, and you can add a speaker with a bubbling sound effect, and this setup is guaranteed to be a neighborhood favorite. You don't need a big budget or a pro setup to create big Halloween drama, you guys. Just a few smart ideas and a little creativity. And best of all, these spooky lighting projects are easy enough to pull off in a weekend afternoon, just in time to haunt your money pit in style. I love this time of year. I think you can all tell. All right, Jim, who's up next?
All right, Leslie, we're going to head out to Delaware now, kind of in your neck of the country there. And we've got Debbie on the line, and she's got something, it says here, about smoke smell and paint and a popcorn ceiling. What's going on there, Debbie?
When I bought the house I'm in, it has like a popcorn ceiling. And the ceiling was just, you could lift a picture even on the walls, and you could see the nicotine stain on the wall. Anyways, it was painted over by contractors, but I'm not sure what's happening in the kitchen especially. It's from the sides where it meets the vertical walls. What would be more economical or wiser to actually have a professional come and scrape that ceiling off, or would the labor be so intensive as maybe to put a thin layer, if it's possible, like a sheetrock up there, or possibly maybe a wood treatment. I live in a beachy area, and I think I've seen some homes that do have wood in the ceiling. Sort of like maybe a whitewash type of thing. I'm not sure.
All right. Hey, Debbie. Well, here's the thing. If you've got a section of popcorn ceiling that's not adhering, it's separating, sadly, you're going to have to scrape off the rest. And I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean the entire ceiling, but you do have to get rid of anything that's loose because you're not going to be able to reseal that. And once you do this, there's a type of popcorn repair product that comes in sort of like a large aerosol can. And you would have to, of course, mask off the cabinets and anything else in that area that you don't want to get this on. And then you can spray it and restore that gap area where you took off the old loose popcorn. Now, it is going to be a different color, so then you would have to paint the popcorn ceiling. It's not a great project. I truly just hate painting ceilings in general. I feel like no matter what I do, it hurts my neck. So there's got to be a better way, but sadly, that's just the issue when painting a ceiling. However, when you paint a popcorn ceiling, if you happen to just go at the popcorn with a traditional roller, what's going to happen is you're going to roll onto the popcorn ceiling, and the style of roller and the wet of the paint is just going to pull the rest of that popcorn away. So you have to go with one that's made specifically for popcorn ceilings. It's kind of like a thick roller, and it has slices in it, almost like a spiral ham, and it uses a lot of paint, and then you use that on the ceiling and just kind of work your way from one side to the other, and you can put a second coat on if you need. I mean, most people don't really like popcorn ceilings anymore, but you've got one, so you're kind of stuck with it.
I really don't like it.
I shouldn't say you're stuck with it. It's a bigger project. It's another project. If you want to just make that popcorn ceiling go away completely, you can scrape it all off, and then once you're done and that surface is smooth, you would prime it and then paint it. And in this case, instead of using a ceiling paint, which kind of has a little bit of a sheen to it, I would go with a flat paint, period. Not even a ceiling paint, just a flat old latex paint, because that lack of sheen will make any unevenness in that ceiling surface kind of go away. If there is a sheen, you will notice every imperfection. And I'm sad to say that when you do take off a popcorn ceiling, there are going to be imperfections. So if you do choose to scrape it all off, sand it, get it smooth, prime it, and just paint it with a simple flat paint, and it comes out pretty good.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you reaching out to me.
Yeah, you're very welcome, Debbie. Good luck with that project. Thanks so much for calling us at 888-MONEY-PIT.
Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye-bye.
Hey, Money Pit listeners, you want to give your kitchen or bath a seriously stunning upgrade without the cost or mess of a full renovation? Well, our friends at Dyche Coatings are helping us give one lucky listener a Marble Dream Resurfacing Kit. That's a DIY kit that can completely transform all your old laminate, wood, and stone surfaces into gorgeous faux marble in just a weekend. It's a prize worth around $150. You can check it out at DycheCoatings.com. That's DAICH coatings.com, but give us a call for help with your home improvement projects and for your chance to win at 888-MONEY-PIT.
At Sierra, discover great deals on top brand workout gear, like high-quality walking shoes, which might lead to another discovery.
40,000 steps, baby. Who's on top now, Karen?
You've taken the office step challenge a step too far. Don't worry, though. Sierra also has yoga gear. It might be a good place to find your zen. Discover top brands at unexpectedly low prices. Sierra, let's get moving.
When did making plans get this complicated? It's time to streamline with WhatsApp, the secure messaging app that brings the whole group together. Use polls to settle dinner plans. Send event invites and pin messages so no one forgets Mom's 60th. And never miss a meme or milestone. All protected with end-to-end encryption. It's time for WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone. Learn more at whatsapp.com.
All right, so Halloween came. You spooked the neighbors, the kids cleaned you out of candy, and now your porch looks like the aftermath of a haunted hayride. Well, before the cobwebs start blowing into your gutters and the pumpkins turn to mush, let's talk about how to wrap up Halloween the right way with smart storage, safe cleanup, and a head start on next year. So let's start with the pumpkins. Let's tackle the messiest, gross part first. If they are still in good shape and you didn't carve them, you're in luck. Those uncut pumpkins can actually last a while and be repurposed into fall decor. Just add a few mums and blammo, you have a great Thanksgiving display. Now, if you have carved rotting pumpkins, you can compost them. Pumpkins are great organic material for garden beds. Just remove the candles. If there's paint or decorations, no compost pile. You can check with your local municipality. Some towns do offer drop-off spots for yard waste and organics after Halloween. I kind of just toss them into the flower bed, too. Not all of them, but I do toss one or two in there because the squirrels will continue to eat them and they're good for the garden bed. So good tip there. Also, I do just drag some to the curb. What are you going to do? Got to get rid of them. Now, indoor decor, you can sort and store them all smartly. Don't just toss everything into one bin. Take an extra 15 minutes, sort the decor by type or room, wrap string lights and delicate garlands around cardboard to keep them from knotting, and use clear bins or labels so that next year's setup is quick and painless. Also, ditch that broken skeleton and those melted candles now. Don't store things that you're just going to throw away next year. Chuck them, buy something on sale and replace that space with something new and fun. Maybe that's what I'm going to do. I don't know. Who knows? And your outdoor decor, dry it out before you box it up. If you've had an inflatable, those faux gravestones or spooky lights outside, make sure everything is dry before you store it. That moisture can lead to mold and damage. You want to lay everything out on a tarp in the garage for a few hours before you pack it up. You can store those Halloween items together in a bin labeled Porch and Yard Halloween. You will thank yourself when it's time to go next October. Hopefully we start a week or so earlier so you can really scare the neighbors. And batteries and technology. You want to remove the batteries from anything that lights up or moves. Storing batteries inside is the fastest way to kill the battery, but also the product. You want to store spare bulbs and remote controls in a zip bag and toss it right into the bin with the thing that it controls. And just like that, you have cleared out the haunted house and made room for all the cozy fall vibes and maybe even just a little hint of holiday sparkle coming your way next. Your Halloween's decor is safe, your pumpkins are doing the part in the compost bin, and your sanity is intact. Now on to Thanksgiving. Time now for Jim's email portion of the show. Who's up, Jimmy?
Bosley wrote in and says, I want to remove a bathroom mirror that's glued to a wall, but I have no idea how to get it off the wall. What's the best way to go about doing this, and what kind of protective gear might I need?
Well, obviously, Bosley, your angels will help you with this project. Gah.
We're showing our age, Leslie.
No, we're young and vibrant, Jim.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. All right, Bosley, this is a tricky one. So first of all, you can't pry it off the wall, obviously, because it's going to break, and that's what makes it very dangerous. You have to protect yourself, your face, your hands, all of that when you're doing this. Now, here's a trick. If you can get a wire behind that mirror, you can kind of draw that wire, and sometimes people use like piano wire or picture hanging wire, guitar string, that's another one, and you use it to saw back and forth behind that mirror. Somebody's got to kind of hold the front so it doesn't all fall off, but you can kind of just pry through that glue and separate it enough from the wall. It's going to get weaker as you get to this process, and it will eventually fall from the wall. But you'll find that the wall will be not as damaged as it could have been. Maybe you didn't break the mirror. Maybe you didn't get 7 years of bad luck. But you're going to have to, kind of maybe prep that wall a little bit for what you're going to refinish it. You might even need to put another layer of drywall over. It's just kind of a tricky job. So good luck with it. Call in those angels. They're just busy blowing out their hair and putting on matching outfits anyway to fight crime. So grab a buddy, angel or not, and good luck with this, all right?
Are you looking for some easy weekend wins to keep your house clean, cozy, and winter ready? Well, from water heaters to furnace filters and chemical-free cleaning tricks, Leslie has some awesome tips in her last word. Go for it, Leslie.
All right. It's my last word. That's not true.
Da-da-da-da.
I'm going to talk forever and ever. You know this.
You get the last word in, at least.
All right, guys. Well, fall is the season where everything feels a little cozier, and it's also the perfect time to knock out those easy home projects that keeps things running smoothly all winter long. So let's start with hot water, because nobody wants a cold shower in January. Now's a great time to give that water heater a little TLC. If you've got a tank-style heater, drain off a couple of gallons of water to flush out the sediment. That's going to make it work harder than it has to. Just be sure that the unit's been turned off and has had an hour to cool before you touch a thing. Now, while you're in that zone, you can swap out your furnace filter. It's a small job, but it's got a big payoff. You'll get cleaner air. You'll get lower heating bills. Bonus points if you set a reminder to change it monthly all winter long. And since we'll all be sealed up in the house soon, this is your moment to give everything a good natural clean. White vinegar and water make those windows sparkle. Salt and baking soda, they are the dream team for scrubbing. And a little olive oil and lemon juice can make your furniture gleam without a single harsh chemical. If you want some more ideas, there's a full list of natural cleaning recipes at moneypit.com. Small projects now equal a warm, clean, and happy home later. Coming up next week, is your kitchen ready for the real holiday hustle? I mean, it is about to get real busy up in that spot. Suddenly you're baking pies, you're bringing things to friends' houses, people are popping over for 20-course meals. Who knew that your kitchen could stand up to all of this? We're going to share easy ways to prep your space for that extra cooking and baking and entertaining that is just around the corner. We've got deep cleaning tips to a few clever organizing moves that will make your kitchen feel ready for anything. Now, your kitchen will be ready. You? I don't know. I can't speak to that. But whether you're hosting or just feeding the crew, this is the weekend to get it done. That's next week on The Money Pit. Remember, guys, you can do it yourself, but you don't have to do it alone. See you next time.
On the Money Pit Radio Show. On the Money Pit Radio Show.
Pick up the telephone.
Fix up your home sweet home by calling 888-MONEY-PIT.
Doug. Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu, is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
It's okay not to be perfect with finances. Experian is your big financial friend and here to help. Did you know you can get matched with credit cards on the app? Some cards are labeled no ding decline, which means if you're not approved, they won't hurt your credit scores. Download the Experian app for free today. Applying for no ding decline cards won't hurt your credit scores if you aren't initially approved. Initial approval will result in a hard inquiry, which may impact your credit scores.
Experian.